Welcome back to Skydog Reviews. Today we got another review video for you. It's been a few weeks and unfortunately I have acquired a lot of new Scally caps, so this is probably going to be long. I was going to do a bunch of short ones, but I decided we'll keep the format the same for now until people really start complaining. But yeah, if you want to see shorter videos, let me know. If you like the length of them, you can either not tell me or tell me you like the long ones. Anyways, so we have 16 brand new Scally caps to review for you today. And if you're not familiar with me, at Skydog Reviews, we do have several videos out. I will post those down in the description on my previous ones. A little bit of word on the format. I am doing this because I'm standing on the backs of others. When I bought my first Boston Scally, I scoured YouTube for a bunch of review videos, and I really enjoyed them. There's some great folks out there making some great videos, and there's more coming behind me. I really appreciate, I love going through and just seeing what hats look like on people's heads. That's what this is here for. This is so you can take a look at a hat style that maybe you want, or a similar hat style, and just kind of see what it looks like here on YouTube. That being said, I also, I bought all these hats. Yeah, I'm crazy, I know that, but yeah, no one's shipping me these hats for free. No one's paying me for this review. This is an open, honest review of hats that I have purchased. I've only gotten discounts that are available to everybody else. I don't even know if Boston Scallies watches these videos, so if you do, we need more 5 panels and lighter weight colors. But anyway, so yeah, these are open honest reviews. I'll tell you right now, they're going to be positive. I've had no negative experience with my Boston Scallies. I know folks out there have had some issues in the past, some quality control issues, but I've been very happy. I've never had to return anything. But from what I've seen on various Facebook groups, the returns, if you do it in the correct period of time, they do a good job. They do right by their customers. So anyways, let's get on to the next thing. I usually talk about pricing. Since the last video, I have created a discount pricing chart. I'll put it up here. And it basically runs through the discounts that you can normally find. There's always a 10% discount. I've never not seen one on the website or through the social medias. There's a more rare 15% discount that you'll occasionally find. And then the harder to find, but traditionally in the Black Friday, Christmas, holiday area, you can find a 20%. So all three of those discounts are included in this chart. Also, I did it the 3 most popular price points, the $52, which is most of their brand new hats or, popular hats. I did it at the $49 mark, which is normally where you see the markdown. There's more of those. Occasionally, there's some in the mid 40s, and the lowest I've seen is $44.10, and that's also in this chart. Now, don't worry about having to rewind the video and find this chart. I have posted this chart on my community section of my Facebook homepage. So if you go in the video and down below and you see where it says Skydog Reviews, you click on that, that will open up my homepage. There's a community tab. You click on that community tab. I only have one document in there right now, and it's this price chart. Just click on the price chart, and it'll run you through all the discounts, the 3 different most common hat price levels. And I'll say again what I say in my other videos, the best deal going, even with 20%, buy 3 hats at the mix and match, get your $25 off, and then you can stack a free shipping code on that. I won't reveal that shipping code in the video because that could change. It hasn't changed in the last 6 months, but if you go down in the description, I will put in the free ship code, so that way if it does change for some reason or something better comes up, I'll put that in its place, but that'll be in the description, so you can take advantage of that mix and match and free shipping. But yeah, so I have a lot of hats to review here, so we're going to try to speed it up a little bit so we can get through all 16 hats in a reasonable amount of time. As always, when I do my hats, I'm going to start with the single panels, work through the 5 panels, the 6 panels, and the 8 panels. I do happen to have all 4 hat styles represented today. And then within a hat style, I usually try to start at the lighter weight hats and work my way down to the heavier weight hats. So the lighter weight hats more appropriate for spring and summer. The heavier hats as we get in the fall and winter. But hey, you can wear whatever you want, whenever you want. So that's just how I work. And it usually works size-wise. The lighter weight fabrics tend to be a little tighter. The heavyweight fabrics tend to be a little looser. So if you're in between sizes and you're looking at a lightweight hat, you may want to go up. If you're in between sizes and you want it to, and you want to be, it might be too loose, you may want to go down a size. But that being said, let's get on to the show. I'm going to start out with the white 1 panels. Before I do that, I almost forgot. What you see on my head is the Cape Codder. It is a hat I reviewed in my last video. Love the hat. Unfortunately, it's off the website right now, so we're hoping for a spring-summer return. But this is the Cape Codder with the driftwood gray. I think it's driftwood gray and a ship's wheel. And I did add the Cape Codder pin. They had a good pin restock back when they had the one of the hats I'll show you. So I put the Cape Codder pin on there. Love the hat. Look forward to getting more when they get released. But we'll start with the 1 panels. And the first 1 panel I'm going to bring up to you, it is the Patriots Collector Edition 6 rings. Yes, 6 rings. Your traditional 1 panel style here. The colors are listed as Patriot Gray with Game Day Blue. As you know, you can kind of get an idea where the theme's going. I ended up buying this, went on the website the day Belichick announced that he was leaving the Patriots. They're on mutual terms. I figured better get my Patriots gear while I was out there. But again, nice looking single panel hat. It's a wool poly blend, so it's a little heavier, but not too heavy. And the 1 panels tend to sit a little higher, so they're a little bit cooler. They're not sitting down as deep in your head as a 6 and 8 panel. But it's a nice looking hat, great gray and blue. The best part about this hat is the interior artwork. You have the 6 rings on the Lombardi Trophy logo in there. For those aren't aware, there are 6 Lombardis sitting in Patriot Place, all while Bill Belichick and Tom Brady were there. Great memories for me. I remember, when Vinatieri kicked those 2 field goals in the old Foxborough against the Raiders in a driving snowstorm. 2 of the best clutch kicks I've ever seen. Then he hit one to win his first Super Bowl, and the rest is history. But anyways, the 6 rings, put it on. Now, I did go a little outside my normal size range. I normally do a 1X on the single panels, so they do tend to be a little bigger. But man, I got the pub. When I bought that pub, and it sits a little deeper, the pub single panel, and that's in a 1X. It sits a little deeper, and I just love the way the pub fits. So I decided, after buying the pub, I'm going to get my other single panels. I'm going to try them in a 2X. Maybe they'll sit a little deeper. It is a little looser than my other 1X single panels, but it's a great fit. And it almost fits like the pub in 1X. So I love what they did with the pub and the styling. So I'm just trying to replicate it by going up a size. And I think, it works perfectly. So my 6 rings hat's in. I'm very happy. It's been a great 20-year run with the Patriots. I've had some couple difficult years, but, better times ahead. So anyways, Patriots Collector Edition, 6 rings, great hat. My next single panel is actually one my wife told me to get, if you can imagine that. With all the Boston Scally boxes showing up, I've never thought I'd hear those words come out of her mouth, but she said, need to get a hat, going on a cruise, need to match her dress. So, the Aficionado. I do have another one I've already reviewed. It's another single panel. It is also a wool poly blend, very similar to the Patriots 6 Rings Collector's Edition. but a beautiful shade. You know, on the website, like I said, it always looks a little different. They use the white box and the bright lights. You know, you're doing that for marketing. You know, you got to make the hat look as good as possible. But man, you know, get them in person, they always tend to be a little bit darker. And I think that works perfectly on this one. So anyways, this is the Aficionado. They did give me a mix. It's a 15% wool, 85% poly. One of the few to give you a percentage. And the color is called Homemade Wine, and you can kind of see why. One of my favorite design features on top of it, we do have the customized artwork. We have the guy in there with a cigar and glass of wine. But the faux leather brim, you know, really nice. It's not leather. It's, you know, obviously fake, but man, this cigar wrapper brown that was on the previous Aficionado, I love the look. It looks fabulous. So anyways, I did the same thing with this hat. Bought it in 2X to give me that, sit down a little deeper, give me that bigger feel like the pub. But man, wow, yeah, this is gonna go awesome. My plan is I usually wear, on formal nights on the cruise, I usually wear a black Columbia professional fishing gear long sleeve shirt and some black jeans. That's about as dressed I get up, in a bolo tie. I probably need to get a bolo tie to match the hat, but man, this hat is beautiful. I was really worried. I was really worried about the color, but seeing it in person and seeing it how it is, really a dark, God, you can almost call it a Merlot. Just looking at it, I do love my wine, and this is a really dark color. I love it. And speaking of Columbia professional fishing gear, boom, I found this is, I'm kind of dressed up for my cruise already, even though it's about a month and a half away. But they came out with some different prints. I'm a Hawaiian shirt guy, and I'm a Columbia PFG guy, so they kind of did the best of both worlds. So we're going out to lunch later on, so I'm gonna dress a little bit more tropical, as the weather's not too terribly cold in Texas today. But man, what a great hat this Aficionado is. I mean, oh, so pleased. You know, I thought about pulling the trigger on this one before. I'm kind of glad my wife made me buy it. Anyways, that is going to be it for the one panels. As we progress here, we're going into my favorite hat style. And thank you, BSCALLY, for releasing a new line of these 5-panel hats recently. I bought them on opening day, and they've been sitting in a box waiting for review. But here they are. They've had the tweed ones out. They had like the original, then they put 3 more last fall out. Patriot blue, the brown herringbone, and the olive green herringbone. But recently they released what they call the solid 5-panel. And again, you know, if you're not familiar with the 5-panel, you got that front panel like the single panel hat. You know, you get that classic single panel look from the front. On the back, you get the 4 panels from the 8-panel hat with the button. And the solid 5-panel, it's a wool poly blend, so it's a little bit lighter than, I'd say, the herringbone. So a little bit better temperature range, and as you can see, the back here is going to sit a little lower than the 1-panel, so it's going to fit a little deeper in the back of the head while keeping that classic styling. I really love the 5-panel hats. I can't say enough about it. They do have the traditional BSCALLY artwork in. There's not special editions or anything like that, and the brim just matches the same wool poly material that's on the rest of the hat in the same color. This particular color is called Alston Gray. Put this one on, and you can see, man, these are just great caps. I love it. I said, get that single panel feel and that 8-panel depth in the back. You know, it's like the best of both worlds. One of the best hybrids, you know, of anything I've ever run into. A lot of hybrid things out there, and they're always trade-offs. And I think this BSCALLY 5-panel, it really knocked it out of the park. It's a great cap design. As I said, if BSCALLY watches this video, I really love these in some summer fabric, some of that cotton twill fabric, or light cotton blends, or even a trainer version. But man, these are great hats. As far as the color names, you have Austin Gray. I also have a Charlestown Blue and Coolidge Black I'll show you. I got all three, but they're all named for neighborhoods in the Boston area. Usually traditional neighborhoods have shops and restaurants. So they kind of, and then they run these through other caps, these color schemes. So this is the Austin Gray. We'll get in, we got the same hat style, just the Coolidge Blue. So it's more of a navy blue. I'm sorry, not Coolidge Blue, it's Charlestown Blue. The Charlestown Blue, same styling, just in blue. Got the same artwork, same brim, same great 5-panel fit. Man, these are great caps. So yeah, so this one is the Charlestown Blue. You can see it's a little darker than you're going to show up on the website. And lastly, let's get this correct right now. It's the Coolidge Black version, another black Scally. I got a bunch of them. You can see it needs a little lint brush, out of the box. You do get some lint on these, especially the darker colors. Fairly common. It's just a fact of life. This material does attract a lot of lint or cat hair if you have one of those. Dog hair as well. Both of our dogs have short hair, so haven't had that much problem. But again, another great looking hat. Boom, great fit, that perfect 5-panel Boston Scally fit and look. Man, just some of my favorites. This is my favorite style. But some of my favorite caps. I'm just looking forward to see what Boston Scally can do as they get into expanding that lineup, and I really hope they do that soon. All right, so that's it for the 5 panels. We'll go on to the next design. This is a design I didn't really like initially. Looks more ball capish. It's a good transition cap for those of you that are into ball caps and want to maybe get in your first Boston Scally. You're not quite sure about the style. The 6-panel is probably for you. Looks most like a baseball cap, but it does have that Boston Scally style. It is a Scally cap, but it sits deeper, probably the deepest fit of any of the caps. I think the 8-panel is probably the next deepest 5-panel, then 1-panel. There are exceptions like the pub and the 1-panel is a great deep fit, but for the most part, the 6 is going to be your deepest style. So I didn't have many of these. I did get the Sailor before I went on a cruise last winter. I liked it a lot. I bought a bunch more in my last video. You saw them, and now I got a stack to go through here. So let's get started on that. Again, we'll go in lightest to heaviest. We'll start out with the Trainer. And the Trainer is another great looking 6-panel Boston Scally. Trainer is a poly cotton blend, very lightweight. You'll notice, you can see they're not really highlighted, but they have vent holes like a traditional baseball cap, and there's a reason for that. Very lightweight, probably the lightest weight caps they sell. Another great thing about the Trainer, it's got the nice contrasting brim. You've seen any of my videos, you know how much I love contrasting brims. Really sets the hat, stands out, sets it apart. Boston Scally does a great job with this on several of their caps. This one is in navy, obviously. And one of the unique things about it, as we get in there, you notice there's no liner. There's a very thin, they call it a tech liner, I believe. But not your traditional artwork laced cotton or, the 3 or 4 different liners they use. They don't have one. So again, very lightweight. You got those holes for, this is designed to be running around and sweating in. Boston Scally has a video for the Trainer, and the owner, the founder, is running around doing all sorts of great things, running up and down steps and working out, and stuff that I can't do anymore at my age. Probably couldn't do at his age either. But anyway, so that's what this hat is for. It's a very lightweight hat. As you can see, fits deeper than the previous 2 hats, the 1-panel, the 5-panel. Sits deeper down on your head. But I said from the front, I'm almost baseball cap-ish, but you look from the side, you do definitely have that Boston Scally classic look, classic Scally cap. You get the extra space in there. And man, what a great hat. You know, I just, once I get the 6 panels, and to be honest, if you're looking for the best variety of Boston Scally, you're going to buy a lot of Boston Scallies. 6 panels is probably the place to go. They have the best variety in colors in 6 panels and in a different fabric range than they do on some of the other ones. But yeah, I've finally come over to the 6 panel side, and now I got a bunch of them. This is a great hat. This is, you can wear it out, you can wear it to work, but it's probably best on those days and here in Texas in the summer on those hot days. Yeah, you want a hat that you want a little bit of ventilation. You want some cooling. You don't want to be wearing a wool poly blend in the middle of summer here. So the trainer, navy, man, just it's another great Boston Scally cap. What else can you say? I have one in 8 panel. I enjoy that one, but this is, like I said, a little bit more choices in colorways and everything like that. They only had 2 kinds of plaids in the 8, so nice to have the solid. Definitely like the contrasting brim. I could see this becoming a go-to hat during the summers here in Texas. The next one's closely related to the trainer. This one is called the Worker. So again, it's a 6-panel hat, very similar in style. This one's made out of canvas, so like kind of a cottonish type fabric. So again, very lightweight. As you can see on the top here, you do have your vent holes, but they do have like little metal grommets in there. So it's not the sewn grommet like the trainer or the Youk. The metal, you can see them probably best right there. This color is called Concrete. Again, I wanted a lightweight hat, The Worker, they have like a Carhartt type tan, really designed for those, if you're out working outside, they want something that's going to match what you're wearing or, traditional worker color schemes. Very much like the trainer, there's not a liner in there. You can see right through, you got the vent holes, you can see the light coming through there. So again, very lightweight hat. The material here is the same canvas, same color as the rest of the hat. Don't have the contrast like the trainer per se. It's a little heavier. The canvas fabric is a little bit heavier than the trainer fabric, but definitely going to be a great summer and spring type hat. Working around the house, working around the yard. Just something when you're going to be out sweating. It's a great looking hat. Another great 6-panel, sits deep on your head. Man, now that I've got 6 panels like them, these last 2 are ones I definitely needed to get for this the upcoming summer. Great for hot weather, great for even running errands around when you're going to be out sweating. You go into Home Depot or Lowe's picking up stuff, or anytime you're going to be sweating, something that you're not going to be wearing the Sunday cap out, or one of your nicer rose hats or something like that. It's just a great, hat to throw around. You might even hang it up next to the door, when you're going out the door, just grab your Worker, your trainer. A great all around, good hat. Very solid. All right. The next hat I never thought I was actually going to get. They originally had one style, and it was very bright green, a little too over the top St. Patrick's for me. I like St. Patrick's Day stuff, but I'm not a big green fan per se. I don't mind it mixed in, but I don't like, especially, very bright like Celtics green was the original punk. But the other week they just released 2 more colorways when they released the punk coming up for that, that time of year, the St. Patty's time, about a month away, a little bit over a month away. So what this one is the punk. As you can see, it is not the green one. It is what they call St. Patrick's Blue. It's a soft cotton, very similar. If you have the Youk, very similar feel to the Youk as far as the material. That does not have the vent holes. It has really nice shamrock and gold in the back. It's a very nice looking hat. Gets a little wild when we flip it up, kind of like the Harpoon, kind of not really expecting, and kind of see it in the call up from the brim. See some colors peek in there, and yeah, you get the traditional punk checkerboard. The original green punk, I think, had the black and white checkerboard. But yeah, this has a green and yellow, kind of like a Notre Dame type feel to it. with a brighter goldish yellow liner with the Punk logo, the custom logo for the Punk. So the interior is very bright, but exterior wise, very classy. Oh, yeah, so a great 6-panel. It feels a little looser than traditionally with the light hat. It's definitely looser than the worker and the trainer, but again, as we transition, they tend to loosen up. And like I said, I do buy this in a size a little bigger than recommended to me, but I do like the deeper feel of these. So, but man, this color blue, it's St. Patrick's Day blue, I really dug it. I wear a lot of blues, a lot of grays. So I really like the the various color blue hats rather than just navy. So this is a color I did not have, and that's basically what made me pull the trigger. I was not going to do it. I was like, nah, I don't really need one of those, but yeah, right. I don't need another hat. So yeah, so anyways, ended up pulling the trigger. I did not get the pin. I wasn't a big fan of the Punk pin. They were available. I think they still are available. But it just, they didn't speak to me. So maybe I'll put another pin on here at some point. But so far I like this hat. It feels good. Just kind of like very, very similar to the Youk. Like I said, it's a very similar feel without the vent holes. But man, just a beautiful color blue. Oh man. So it's a hat I'll probably wear more than I thought I ever would. But I have so many Scallies now. It's hard to say that I'm going to wear it a lot because I have more hats than I have days in a month. So anyways, great hat. Glad I got it. Got in on the jump. They're still available on the website as of today. So you can still pick one up if you go off the Boston Scally. The Punk, St. Patrick's Day blue. Another great hat in the Boston Scally lineup. This next hat's a hat I've reviewed before. Different colorway, again, a 6-panel, a sailor. These disappeared from the website briefly and then came back, and I jumped on it. I actually used the shop app. Another way, I don't remember signing up for this, but I bought something a while back. The shop app showed up, remember, it has my credit card stuff and everything, but they actually started doing rewards. And after buying a bunch of Boston Scallies and a couple other stores I use, I had a lot of credit. So I actually bought this as a one-off. Was able to use a 20% code with it, which gave me more than the free shipping. If you go back to my chart, you can see one hat, 20% save you more. Or didn't, I might have done free shipping. I think with the discount, it didn't give me that same deal I thought I was getting. But anyways, I forget which. I think it might have done the 20. Because I think it took it off and then used the shop app credit to pay the rest of it. So I think it's one of the few times I used 20. It's got that nice embroidered Compass Rose logo. It's the same cotton twill, the captains, which have disappeared from the website, the keeper. So that same soft cotton twill, great looking 6-panel. This color is called Tide Blue. It's got the contrast brim, which this style of hat, and the captain and the keeper, they usually have a contrasting brill. This is called a driftwood gray. You can see it there. The interior, the same driftwood gray with the sailor logo in there. Looks like he's a little mushed together here. There we go. Like I said, most of these have been sitting in a box for weeks as I've tried to get them out. So let's see if we get that again. Yeah, so there's the sailor logo. Great hat. It's a lighter weight hat. Not as light as the previous hats I showed you. And putting it on, it's a little looser. And this hat style, this hat fabric tends to fit a little loose. I really like it, especially, like I said, when we're going into the summer months. I like a little looser hat in this style. But man, what a great looking hat. These are back on the website again. So they are still available. I don't think they have some of the colorways are out in certain styles. The Mariner Blue, my original one, I really love. I know people are having trouble getting that one in style in their particular size. But this goes great. Gonna probably go on the cruise, goes great with shirts like this. But yeah, the Sailor is a great 6-panel cap. It was my first one, the Mariner Blue one. So I really love this style. Great cap, great fitting cap. Can't wait till maybe make some more. All right, so we go from the Sailor into a new hat type for me. This next hat is another 6-panel. It's called the Scapper. And again, it's a little bit heavyweight, but it's still a cotton hat. So it's still not like a wool poly blend. But man, it's a nice looking blue. They call it just blue, just cotton. But man, you look into it, it's just got that, I'm not gonna call it denim, but man, it's just got that texture to it, and it's got a little bit of different coloring in it. It's just a beautiful looking hat. Again, your traditional 6 panels, it's got the same fabric underneath. It's got the traditional, although in red, Boston Scally artwork with a liner, more traditional liner. Get this one on the head. Great fit. Yeah, Scapper. Other people have reviewed this hat. Again, when I was avoiding 6 panels, I didn't get it. But like I said, this is a hat I figured I'd try. I like the color. It's a different color. Again, it's a blue hat. I like blue hats. As you can see, I tend to run more blues even when I go wild. But man, what a beautiful hat this is. It's great color. It's light enough weight that they can get a multi-season out of it. Probably could wear it in the summer. But again, definitely with the color. Man, let's see. It's hard to see if I can get it in there. It's like a bluish gray, but I mean, you could wear this, with faded jeans. So much this can go with, and it is great fitting hat, great fitting 6-panel. I'm glad I got one in the collection. Definitely would consider getting another one, a different colorway. This just happened to be, my trial, my first one, so I wanted to go with something I know I was going to wear. So the Scapper in blue, another classic 6-panel. And, still going. I got more 6 panels coming. Again, this next one is another 6-panel. I like the colorway of it. I love the styling. Other than when I wasn't doing 6 panels, I'm like, yeah, I'm not sold. I was kind of waiting to see if I could get in a different style. But now that I'm digging the 6 panels, I've decided to go ahead and get one. And this would be the Bareknuckle. And this is definitely a unique colorway. They call the Bareknuckle, it's a woven poly blend. It doesn't say woven poly blend. But you can see that color. It's got specks of white. It's got specks of like a lighter blue in there. I think I've seen referred to as black and blue sometimes on the social media from Boston Scally. But it's definitely a unique colorway. Again, the webpage just calls it blue, but obviously there's something else going on there. It's got the same material in the brim, and then one of their custom, special artworks. So you got the Boston Scally Bareknuckle collection. Again, they had pins for this. They were available. Just wasn't feeling it at the time, so maybe down the road. But man, what a great hat. And it also has, like I said, I had not seen this until I got the Jetty. It's got the Boston Scally B tag, kind of coming off the left quarter. So a little bit more unique. Great fitting hat. Man, yeah, this definitely goes with what I'm wearing, which is hard to say, with the coloring on it. But the Bareknuckle, man, this is woven poly. It's really weird. It's, kind of feels like there could be a little bit of wool in there. If it is, it's not very high. It doesn't feel that heavy and that hot. Definitely a little heavier than the Scapper. But man, just such a unique color. I had to have it, so yeah. like I needed another cap, but you know, obviously I did. So this filled out a order of 3 at some point in the last month. But man, love the color, love the cap. Another great 6-panel by Boston Scally. Coming down to the last 6-panel we're looking at here. Again, this purchase was made the day Belichick announced his retirement. I wanted another, go in, make sure I had my collection up to date. I have the GOAT, you know, from Tom Brady. And then they also have a 6-panel called the MVP. Again, referring to the same Thomas Brady. A little bit more that it's a navy blue, but it's got a little different, a little brighter color to it. Again, they call it navy. It's a wool poly blend, so it is heavier, more of a fall-winter style hat, and you can feel it, you know. Brim, you get the contrasting gray. They didn't give it a color, but I'm assuming that's what they call like a Patriot gray. Very similar coloring to the Patriot Collector Edition 6 rings. Traditional artwork, you know, you go in, unlike the 6 rings, it's got the traditional artwork. But what you do have sitting in there is the 12 for Mr. Brady. So the MVP, yeah. I do have a Patriots pins for the for this hat and the 6 rings hat. I just have not put them on yet. Very similar to what I did with the GOAT. So I have a GOAT, got the MVP, and this one actually fits a little tighter. I mean, it is the same 2XL that I get all my 6 panels in, but it does feel a little tighter than, you know, Navy's loosened it up a little bit than my traditional wool polys. And again, you know, some people have mentioned that, you know, some hats do run a little different size. Some people buy multiples of the same and find they do run a little different. But like I said, that's why I usually go big. I can always use those hat fitting strips or tape you can get on Amazon if they're too loose. But this one actually fits me perfect. So, you know, I thought it was going to be a little loose, so I'm really happy with the fit. And I did that by going up that size. And what another great looking 6-panel. But man, we got to keep going. Holy cow. 16 hats. There's a lot to go through. So let's keep going. We're going into a new style. We've gone through the 1s, the 5s, the 6s. We're going into the 8s. And we've reviewed this hat before. New colorway. The Youk. This Youk is soft cotton like the previous, but they call this color cool gray, almost a white. You get the button. It's the traditional 8 panels. It's got the vent holes, kind of like the trainer. Like the previous Youk, you have the baseball seams on the left rear quarter that are embroidered in. Fabulous looking hat. We flip it over. You got that nice red and blue plaid with that Red Sox red headliner. Going in for the custom artwork. Again, for the Youk, another great hat. Put this one on, and yeah, fits just like my last one. Same one in navy blue. What a fabulous cap. This one's going to be even better in the summer, obviously. You know, it's got the liner, but it does have the vent holes. But just a new colorway for me. I mean, it's been around, was out of stock when I was looking at it. Came back in stock. And, of course, I jumped on it once I saw one of my fellow Boston Scally Cruise Facebook groups said it was back in stock. I got on and jumped on it. That's probably one of the best things about joining a group. They kind of let you know what's going on when you don't. Next hat is also one that I have reviewed previously, so we'll try to go through these a little quicker. It is another version of the Caddy. This one is the light blue variant. I have all the other variants. This kind of completed the collection. My fear being, since they had removed the Captain, the Cape Codders, the more lightweight hats, that this would disappear soon, so I got it. And that's my tradition. I got the Boston Scally B Black Shamrock on it. Great color. They call it light blue, but it's man, very. I mean, this is a gray in the Cape Codder. This is a light blue, so it's a little different, but it's that same material. The Cape Codder is like the 6-panel version of this. Boom, nice classic 8-panel feel. Love this style. Brought some on my cruise. Enjoyed it there. Definitely, I think this one's probably going to make the cut. Although I got to limit myself to about 8 or 9 hats. So that's going to be the hardest thing. The more I get, the more caps I want to bring on a cruise. And we'll see what makes the cut. But man, one other great 8-panel Scally cap from Boston Scally. The Caddy. The next ones I had, I ended up getting when the Cape Codder disappeared. Like, man, I need to fill out my 3. I'd thought about this hat a couple times, and I didn't know if I could pull it off. Still don't know if I can pull it off, but I decided the pin came back in stock, and I'm like, well, I might as well get the whole get-up. I got the Kraken, however you want to pronounce it. So this is an 8-panel, very similar in style. It's called 70% cotton, 30% poly, very similar to the Caddy in feel. You know, you got the plaids on there, and it's like that same fairway plaid that you get on the Caddies. You have a light blue, you got like a yellowish, and then you have another blue and gold plaid. So you got, you know, multiple, you got 4 different patches on this, and they do call the color patchwork, but a fabulous looking cap if you can pull it off. I'm not sure if I can. It's got that blue brim, same material. It's got custom artwork. You can see the custom Kraken, you know, artwork. And again, they have the Kraken pin, which I gotta love that too. You got a little octopus Kraken type thing wearing a Boston Scally cap. Put it on. This fits just like the Caddy. You know, it's almost to the point where I'll probably keep this with my Caddy, same collection, you know. It's a unique colorway. I've never done a patchwork hat. I'm not necessarily a big fan of them, but I want another summer lightweight hat. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off with a lot of my outfits, but it's different. Definitely going to be a conversation piece. I can wear this in the work. I'm sure someone will make a comment. May not be positive comments, but I'll get comments. But yeah, if you have a Caddy, fits just like a Caddy, feels just like a Caddy. And I love Caddies. Caddies and captains, some of my favorite hats. So this is definitely going to get into the rotation. Could go on the cruise. We'll see. I don't know. But another great 8-panel, and like I said, it's in my wheelhouse. Like I said, it fits just like 2 of my favorite hat styles. So it's definitely going to be around for a while. All right. The last hat is a style that is familiar to most. A lot of people have reviewed this style in different colorways. I've never gotten one. The closest thing I have is I do have the Blue House Peaky, but it's like it's a lightweight material, a quick dry material. There's other hats that look similar, folks say, but I saw this hat and for some reason it spoke to me. So I did go out and get it on opening day. It is the Royal Rose. And what a beautiful looking 8-panel Boston Scally. You know, it's got a plaid in there. You know, they had 2 pins. On opening day, there was 1 pin. On the next day, there was another. So the opening day pin is this one right there. And the day 2 pin, the one they think still available, is right there. So just a little different styling. But I love this blue, gray, and white plaid. It's a nice colorway. Again, I'm a sucker for blue hats. You know, it's most of my outfits. And again, I've just never got into the rose caps. But this one, I decided, this kind of more my wheelhouse color-wise, so I decided to pull the trigger. It's got that faux leather. In this case, their first faux blue leather brim. So it's kind of hard to see in the light because it blends in, really stands out in the Aficionado. But again, one of my favorite styling cues. You go in, it's got the the Royal Rose artwork from Boston Scally Co. Your traditional black liner in there. Beautiful looking cap. Let's put this one on. Yeah, this is a nice cap. You know, I'm finally glad I got into the rose line. Just like I said, just none of the colors I could really felt like I could pull off. I think the steel rose and the black rose I could pull off per se, but some things just don't speak to you. When I saw this one, this is the first rose that really said, you know, you got to go get this one. So I did. And I'm glad I did, man. This is a beautiful hat. A really nice hat. It's that wool poly. So it's a little bit warmer. I can feel it already compared, you know, to wearing the Kraken and the Caddies. But man, what a beautiful hat. Glad I got it. This could be a cruise. I said that about all of them. I can't bring 50 hats on the cruise. So they will have to be cut down. But man, this is a great looking hat. Man, it looks better in person. Like I said, the coloring, it's hard to see on the website. It's darker. You know, the website looks much lighter, but man, what a great coloring. You know, they have two great pins. Like I said, hopefully they're both available in the future because they're a little different. One has more of a crest on it than the other. One has on the bottom, one is surrounded. But man, what a fabulous cap. I'm glad I finally got a rose cap, you know, because it's one of the holes in my 8-panel lineup, being an 8-panel guy, you know. So, great hat. All right, I've run out. That's 16, man. I'm looking at time on the camera, man. This is gonna be a long one. So I do apologize for the length of video. If you'd like to see me do like maybe, and down the line, I'm planning on doing some videos on series of hats that I have. Obviously the Caddy, I have the full series. The Captains, I have a lot. So some of the other series I'm probably gonna end up doing shorter videos on, but I had 16 hats sitting here in a box I needed to review. Now I can put them, you know, into my collection, get them out in rotation, get them out in the wild. So I do apologize for the length of the video. But anyways, thank you for viewing. I really enjoy getting this out to you and making sure you can see these hats on a real head. And I appreciate your viewership. I will link the rest of my videos in the description. You'll have that free shipping discount code. If you go to my page in the community, that price discount chart will be in there. So I'm trying to get more resources for you here as I think of them. You know, I'm not the smartest tool or sharpest tool in the shed, so to speak. So it sometimes takes me a while to get things done that should seem pretty obvious. So, but I'm working on it. So have a great day, and thank you for watching Skydog Reviews. See you next time.